Hey everybody, Zeal Brothers here once again with another video. And this one is a question about the new COVID strain that's in South Africa. A lot of people are calling it a super mutant virus. And I read this article, and it's another cautionary tale about the media. A lot of you guys know that I am not very trusting of the media for a good reason. And one of the reasons I'm not very trusting of the media is because they are so dang alarmist and so flawed in their thinking. And what do I mean by alarmist? Well, the title of this article is Scientists Sound Alarm Over New Worst Ever Super Mutant COVID Strain. And ultimately, when you look at media hits and media views, they get paid for making alarmist statements because you click on that. You say, oh no, it's a mutant virus. It could kill me. And when you look at this article, they quote the World Health Organization and they quote the scientists who made models that basically encouraged most of the lockdowns that happen. And when you look at those two, right, you look at the scientists who created the models that encouraged the lockdowns, his model was so flawed by like a factor of 10 about how many people he thought would die. So I don't know why we would keep on listening to somebody that was that wrong. That would be like me saying, last week, the Packers was going to win by 50 points, and then they lost. And then the next week, I say the same thing again, and everybody looking at me like, wow, he's an expert. No, he's an idiot. He was just wrong. He's going off of the same way of thinking that he had before. He is flawed. And as far as I understand it, he hasn't fully admitted how wrong he was. Then you got the World Health Organization that is compromised. And when you look at what they've done, it's I have a very confident argument that they've been compromised by the Chinese government to not state how much the Chinese government has done in harming the world with this virus. And what do I mean by harming the world? Well, one of the things is when you look at the numbers that come out of China, they don't make any sense. They don't make any sense. The number of people they say got COVID in this place where it came from is so low. The number of deaths they report are so low. And this is where it came from. We also have a very, very big concern that it came from one of their labs. Well, they take no responsibility for that. So when you look at the World Health Organization and they seem to be compromised by Chinese money, and I'm not saying that in some racist sense. I'm saying that in a political sense. It ain't about somebody being Chinese is the problem. It's the Chinese government that is very evil. That's the problem. And so these are the two sources that are the big things for this article. Now, they talk about 30 mutations and it's twice as much as the Delta variant had, and people's vaccinated status may not help them with this, and people previously getting COVID may not help them with this. And that can be somewhat of a concern. But the truth of the matter is there is no virus that is not constantly mutating. They always are. Always. This COVID virus that we see right now, eventually we will simply have to get used to it because it's not going to go away. Now, viruses never do. I always hear these commercials and they say, we got to stop the virus, stop the spread. You can't stop no spread. That's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You can't stop a spread. You could barely stop AIDS and HIV. It's amazing that a disease that's as hard to spread as HIV, we can barely stop. And we expect to stop something that can be transmitted with a sneeze. It's just amazing to me we think that. But these are arguments that are being made in public, and people are taking these arguments seriously. So, hey, don't take the media 100% seriously. Yes, you can read these articles like I read these articles. Pay attention to them like I pay attention to them. We want to be informed, but you just got to understand how the media alarmism works. They want somebody to go hysterical so they can read the next 30 articles that are about the same thing.